regret to inform you that the Sydney Sweeney is Mid discourse has once again been resurrected. She took a photo with a fan at a karaoke bar, and this photo is, you know, heat of the moment. She's kind of sweaty. She's not wearing makeup, it seems. And then people started zooming in on it and saying, wow, like, this proves it. Sydney Sweeney has been mid this whole time, and we just didn't realize it. We were in a drunken stupor after her SNL appearances.
They had the beer goggles after seeing Superman.
So we got a closer up photo as well to show in the second post here. And they say, can we all admit that Sydney Sweeney isn't pretty now? Like as if everyone was just participating in a mass formation psychosis.
They're like,
thinking that this woman is attractive.
COVID ended and then Sydney Sweeney started.
And then another one said, she looks pretty here. She just doesn't look like some kind of model who blows you away. She just is a derpy, hot blonde with big tits. And I agreed with that. Like, obviously, she's not a supermodel. She is an actress. If she were a supermodel,
it would be different.
She would not be in movies and TV shows. That's part of the job is that you're interesting to look at, that you're expressive, and that you don't look cookie cutter. So, I mean, she has unique traits. I feel like I'm kind of going crazy. Like, is there really that much wrong with how she looks in this photo?
No.
Like, she's just not wearing tons of makeup.
In the early 2000s, there would have been thousands of these on your MySpace profile going out to some scene club.
Sure.
And it would have been part of the culture.
But she just looks totally normal to me. And then I wonder, like, would they prefer how she looks when she's been in a makeup chair for 3 hours?
Yeah, but then they would say
a red carpet event.
But then the people who are critiquing that opinion would say you're porn-brained and you don't know what a real woman looks like.
They could easily say that. And then another post showed her in a role. I think this is from her role as reality winner. I think that was last year that came out.
This one?
Yeah. And they said, do you think Sydney Sweeney is attractive? Looks pretty mid to me.
We all know that a real human being named Reality Winner is a psyop and something with DARPA, some laser beam that rewired all our brains, psyop. We're in another dimension.
And then they said, mid is generous. There is no Amish hot. And then they post a side-by-side of her in a red carpet and then the Reality Winner photo. And they're like, what happened? What happened is that in one photo she's wearing makeup and in the other photo she's not. Do you prefer women with makeup or do you not? That's the question. And men will universally say that they prefer no makeup on women, and then their revealed preference is makeup and as much fakery as possible.
I think that those are two different subsets of men sometimes. I'm in the chat for Buns Buggy. That's the name of the person in the chat. Says, wake up in the morning, Coyote Ugly. Fantastic Coyote Ugly reference. If you haven't seen that movie, you should. The reference in the movie is that, you know, when you take a woman home from the bar and you wake up, you know, sober finally, and you look over and she's so ugly you'd rather chew your own arm off than wake her. That's Coyote Ugly.
It wasn't too long ago that the mid discourse around Sydney Sweeney first erupted. In December 2024, there were these photos of her, I believe in her backyard, in her Florida mansion, wearing no makeup, in a bikini, and men absolutely lost it over this, saying that she was mid in these photos, and that she's also, they were saying she's fat as well, which is just mind-boggling. And you have to think, like, these people are so chronically online. Yeah. Like, have you not seen a woman in a bikini in real life before?
They don't go to the beach.
It doesn't take that much effort. Another tweet said, our grandfathers would maybe see one woman this hot in a lifetime and paint her on the side of a plane and carpet bomb the shit out of each other. You see a dozen stepsisters stuck in dryers hotter than her before breakfast and wonder why nobody wants to die in a trench anymore. So basically, porn is why men don't go to war.
Yeah, like, why go to war if you can just go online?
There's definitely some truth in that. Like, if you're just inundated with imagery of impossibly hot women constantly, that has to do something to you neurologically.
Especially with men being verifiably visual creatures as opposed to women who are... And women have their preference of, milking farm books that do the same thing to them.
They said the same of Sabrina Carpenter as well.
Yeah.
I think, like, watching porn definitely convinces your lizard brain that you're fulfilling a biological imperative. That's a very powerful dopamine feedback loop that you can get entrenched in, and it will convince you that you actually, like, convince you on a subconscious level, on like a primordial level, that you actually are having sex with these women.
Not even just, okay, so back in the day, your fathers or your older brothers would buy magazines like FHM. And
what's FHM?
They were like men's magazines.
I've never even heard of that one.
So every woman, every actress that was some type of sex symbol or attractive female actress would end up having a cover on one of these magazines, where then they would complain about 10 years later and be like, oh my God, look how they exploited me for my looks. The point is, you had to go out and buy something like that and choose to read it, for the articles. And that was a pursuit that you did, and it took up a set amount of time in your day, and then you left your room and went on about your day. Now you're inundated with that 24/7 on your Instagram feed, and you wonder why men are like that.
Well, yeah, and then women are seeing the same Instagram feed and just turning that criticism on themselves, right? It calls back to the conversation we were having yesterday about the way people bluster online and they express their darkest thoughts in instantaneous fashion without much forethought. And the men calling Sydney Sweeney mid almost certainly do not have as high of standards for attractiveness in women as they claim to online.
I mean, let's face it, this is probably mostly Indian bot farms looking to sow discord amongst the genders here in America.
So true. Open Bob and Vagine.
It is.
Literally.
They're not Americans doing this. This is
Can
all
we just
fake.
have a separate internet? Can actually, maybe the Indians should have their own internet.
Look, it could be like
it's closed
I will
off.
play both sides of the aisle here. It could be Russian bots too. It could be Vladimir Putin looking to sow discord
to demoralize
between
American men.
You know why? Because he's like, look, if I want to end up nuking Ukraine, I got to make sure men don't want to go to war. Right. The best way to do that is to put women on the internet so that they don't want to get into a plane and drop bombs on us.
Exactly.
There we go. It's all geopolitics.
The code.
It's all geopolitics. It's Putin wanted Crimea, and since then we're screwed.
It's a CIA psyop without a question.
I did see a video yesterday on Instagram where it's a woman and she goes, I can't.
What?
I can't be with a man who's a good father. And then it cuts to like people dancing, says the CIA.
Why would she say that?
I have no idea where it's
I guess
from.
I wouldn't want to date a father, personally.
But that's not what she said. She says, I
doesn't
can't
want to date a man who would
be with a man who would be a good father. And then it just cuts to like the CIA dancing. Like
they make it too easy these days. It's like stealing candy from a baby.
Yep.
These psyops are just getting pulled off without a hitch.
Look, this discourse is it's like as repetitive as the Margot Robbie discourse. I don't know why those two specifically. They don't even look alike. They're not even of the same type.
They're just both blonde.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where those similarities
Is there a
start and
Scarlett
end.
Johansson as mid discourse as
Yes,
well?
we talked about it.
Is it always
Scarlett
blondes?
Johansson has been called mid as well. Yeah.
Who has been called unequivocally not mid? Is there anybody?
Livy Dunn?
I mean, that'll just change over time.
I don't know. They might change their minds about her as well.
Like Paul Skeens will go on a losing streak.
Who's not mid? If that's my question at this point.
Who isn't mid?
If Scarlett Johansson is mid, who isn't mid? Genuine question.
If everybody's mid, then nobody's mid.
Yeah, exactly.
We're back to body positivity.
Exactly.
Horseshoe theory.
Do they find anyone attractive? Are they just turning gay? I think the internet is turning men gay. Truly.
I can't right now. It's
Yeah, I don't honestly, I don't think that Sydney Sweeney and mid belong in the same sentence. She is exceptionally attractive. That is the objective truth.
I mean, I just feel like if you're getting into this, look, maybe this is just my own. I'm on my own side of the internet, tweeting about Superman, and that's my corner of the internet. But if you're in this corner of the internet and this is what you're arguing about, maybe we should both go touch grass. I'll touch grass and not talk about Superman, and you touch grass and stop talking about whatever this shit is.
I'll even go out on a limb and say, even if Sydney Sweeney didn't have huge tits, she would still be exceptionally attractive. I like her face. She has a good face.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.